Whoa.
We're live.
Mic check, Fiddler.
All right, yeah, we're live. Oh, it's a new episode of the podcast.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome. It's the podcast.
Which episode is it?
I think it's 7. Yeah, it's episode 7. Yeah, I think so.
Solid.
We have a special guest star tonight with us. Filmmaker, award-winning editor, Peter Rinaldi from the podcast Filmmaker Magazine. Am I saying your name?
No relation.
Yeah, of course not. So, makes a great tomato sauce as well. That's what I've heard.
That's a topic for later. I'm curious if there are onion in that tomato.
Let's put a pin in that. We'll come back to it. Let's get through a little bit of what everyone's come here for. AI news. Yeah, you want to talk about what's happening in the news before we get to the segment on filmmaking? What do you guys? Is that a good idea?
That's a great idea.
Fiddler, I know you did a lot of research on this week.
Yeah, I mean, don't start with me. I can go on and on. Yeah.
We'll cut you off. Don't worry. Go ahead.
Yeah, can you just give us something?
I could give you more than something. How about a lot?
All right. Well, if you heard, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but the company Chegg just basically, announced that it was stopping its services. We were providing flashcards for students to learn. Anybody really. And of course, people are just doing that in ChatGPT now. They're just immediately that's one of the key things that people are doing is just creating flashcards. And they don't need to set it up. They're just like, hey, create a set of 32 flashcards for for biology.
See, I think that's a horrible idea because that's the only way I learned was actually creating the flashcards themselves. Like that's the way I learned the most.
Yeah, I know.
Having to format a question, write that shit down.
Yeah, but I mean, at what point?
Yeah. So good luck to them.
But honestly, at what point is it like? Well, I don't. You know how we used to be like, what's this times that? Well, I have a calculator. We all have calculators now. At what point does it become like, well, I have the entirety of the internet at my fingertips? Could get an answer in a second. Do I really need to know logarithms and shit like that? When the computer could just do it all.
I mean,
like a giant
here's
calculator, like a giant, multi-thing, like a Swiss Army knife.
How are you going to have any invention though if you, especially in the sciences, you got to have some sort of background in your brain to get there.
I mean, you don't think it's possible for eventually for these AIs to be just as good at innovation as we are?
The robots will take over everything anyway, so you're right there.
I mean, do you think it's going to go so far as that in the future people will not be giving out math minors?
They should probably have started that 25 years ago.
You can't touch my math minor, man. You don't come to math. No AI is going to take my math minor.
I did listen to, we didn't finish it, but that Chris Hayes podcast, Why Is This Happening, the AI special about that guy who, he got out of Google or whatever because he was considered the godfather of AI.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we might have talked
about
that
a little bit about that.
That shit's kind of crazy.
I know, it's nuts.
Shut it down.
Yeah.
He's scared.
Yeah, people are scared out there. It doesn't help that the system, the propaganda that's coming out of in movies and TV for the last, decades about how horrible things will be if the system breaks down. You look at The Walking Dead, you look at any of the post-apocalypse stuff. It's not that the radiation's so bad. It's that people are even worse than ever. System breaks down. People are there's cannibalism and shit. So of course they say something that might threaten the system or at least make the system have to change. And you get this post-apocalyptic fucking feeling about Terminator 2 style. They get a little smart. They're gonna take over the world. Can't let that happen. I mean, is it worse than what we're doing?
And then there's necrophilia.
What?
AI necrophilia, I know.
Yeah.
That's a big problem.
Exactly.
I know what you mean. You're talking about setting up a virtual dead person and putting him in an AI that you can simulate having sex with. You take Joan of Arc. And if an AI can simulate it, then you can have sex with that AI, and it's basically necrophilia.
Is that your dream case?
No.
So you really thought that out.
Well, nightmare. I don't want to wake up on the other side of it. You know what I mean? Unable to move and
I'm sorry, I'm too alive for you.
Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on.
Next question.
Yeah. So, Chegg. But you know what Chegg did? You know what they decided to do? I thought was really interesting. The approach they're taking is they're not like, and I think this is going to have to apply to the movie industry as well, the film industry. They're not just going, oh, we're done. We can't make any more flashcards, because that's what it starts with the flashcards, but eventually it's going to get to everything. And if this is, to me, in my mind, this stuff has to change. It has to adapt, or what's going to be left behind. We're going to move past it, and it'll always be there, like plays, be this niche thing that somehow people could scratch together $8 million and gratuitously film scenes actually while there. When the AI is going to be doing it almost exactly as good, and maybe get to the point where you can actually change the view of the camera so that while it's happening.
Yeah.
Maybe
AI is there to kind of end the population.
Well, see,
maybe AI realized that evolution just went a little too far and created humans.
Yeah, and that's true.
And they shall be uncreated.
So they're hoisted better on petard, right? Their technology is going to end them.
Yeah.
Do you think AI is going to replace movie makers?
Well, I think that's a great segue to bring in our guest, Peter Rinaldi, a filmmaker magazine. That was amazing, Molecule.
Thank you,
Peter. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi guys, I was listening in the green room, I'm not.
Is there enough pretzels in there?
Is there a way? Are people sure you guys are real?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, we are right now, but that could change.
I mean, this is all. Audio. People
How
are
are they
listening.
to know?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks for having me. I guess a robot wrote my bio or something. I'm not an expert on movies. I saw that on Reddit.
Dude, I know your taste in movies. I know your taste in movies.
What were you thinking?
You hate you've never seen an MCU movie that you didn't like. I mean, that you liked. You haven't seen a single MCU movie you liked. Your taste run to these things that are 7 hours long, incomprehensible plot. That's your favorite movie. I don't even know what the name is. Maybe 12 words or something. I don't even remember what it is. But
luckily, those will be the first thing to go when there's no more actors, right? Those kind of movies.
I guess so. Because it's gonna be empty fields.
Let me pose this to you guys. If this happened, if AI became this advanced 40 years ago in the 70s, at what people consider to be the height of American filmmaking,
Star Wars.
We're talking about not necessarily. We're talking
That's exactly my point. That is probably the most popular movie ever, but for you, it's not. It's not the best movie. Star Wars is the most popular movie.
Godfather. We're talking about the great 70s movies.
How many sequels did The Godfather have?
We're talking about...
how many sequels did The Godfather have?
Two,
right?
Two,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you know how many sequels Star Wars had? 12. Star Wars had 12 sequels.
Fuck Star Wars.
My co-hosts have never seen Star Wars.
I've never seen it.
I've seen one of them. I don't know. I couldn't tell you which.
Yeah.
It was in the early
aughts. If this came about, if this advancement somehow came during that renaissance of film, at the end of what is considered kind of the end of this studio filmmaking and the beginning of this
Deer Hunter,
era.
that sort of thing. Deer Hunter.
Yeah, exactly.
That's at the end of it.
So people would be laughing at the idea of AI kind of taking over filmmaking, right? It would be laughed at because what we want, what was available to us was impossible to have then, made by machines. Now it is not laughed at because it's so easy.
Right, yeah, exactly.
To make something that the audience will just switch right over into it.
Right.
It's pretty much almost already happening, right?
Yeah, but there's going to be a point where you don't have to switch.
That says how bad the current state of the popular movies are.
It's going to come to a point where you don't even have to switch anything. It's just going to adjust based on your interest level, your eye movements. It's going to be like, all right, do we need more action here? He's falling asleep. That's going to be able to deliver to you exactly what you want, when you want it, and I don't think it's going to be tied to any particular channel or anything.
So wait, you're going far ahead. You're talking about a time when I can I can somehow make me a movie I want to see.
It's basically going to be like a fusion between games and movies where you're going to be part of the action, but you may take a very passive part of it where you're just sort of seeing it through the eyes of the person. Other ones might have different views or whatever, like a movie, but it's going to be a merging between games and old style TV where you're going to actually, the choices you make are going to affect the outcome of the and sometimes it might be as easy as if you start getting noticeably bored, it switches it up, it throws in,
right,
and it can do that. Now, we can do that now on a rudimentary level.
That's what I'd be afraid of, because it's like if we already kind of have it planned out, then I think people will lose interest pretty quick, just naturally.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think our attention spans are getting so much shorter and shorter. Like, look at TikTok. I mean, that's the most popular shit out there right now, Like, at some point, like, it's almost like AI is going to have to stay. How can we get any shorter than TikTok?
What did you say? Just kidding. Oh. That was a joke.
I love TikTok. Is that what you wanted to hear?
I believe you do. I
catch myself looking at some of the shorts.
You go down TikTok holes, Fiddler?
Yeah, I do it on Instagram and Facebook, but I think it's the same thing. You get that little shorts.
That's the same.
You watch the Reels on Facebook?
Yeah, that was the old school thing.
I didn't think anybody actually watched those.
It's funny. Well, I was at Molecules. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry. Go on, Phil.
No, you go ahead.
No,
you go ahead.
Please.
No, you.
You go ahead. No, you. Window number 3.
Speaking of that, do we have a game? Do we have a game to play? Do we have a game?
That was it.
I know. I just thought we'd take a little break and then come back to that. I thought we'd take a little break, play a bit of game, then come back to the discussion.
I need to ask everybody something, because this is, I don't know enough about this. I mean, there are people freaking out. There are actors freaking out, like Justine Bateman.
I saw that article.
Is freaking out.
Yeah.
Then there are people laughing at people freaking out. Right. And looking at things like that AI generated trailer that just a couple weeks ago, that was ridiculous and looked. So there.
We saw, what we saw today. A TikTok of Arnold Schwarzenegger as every character in the Soup Nazi sketch.
I saw that. That
was amazing. It was amazing.
I mean, that's just like
it's better than Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's better than Arnold Schwarzenegger ever acted in his life. That's the funny thing about it.
And so that's novelty that people laugh at. That's funny, but
I could watch an entire movie of that. Guaranteed. Maybe 90 minutes.
You know about this? There was this character in one of these idiotic shows that I don't know what the name of it was. That an actor left the show, and so they still had to do scenes like reaction scenes, and they just photoshopped his still face.
It looks so bad. It looks so bad.
It looks so bad.
Yeah.
So why is that? Like, you figure that they would have like a technology right now that could make even that a little better if they could do the deep fake with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't get why they couldn't do that. Can somebody tell me? I
think they could, but I think what's happening is this is a rare case of like a technology that evolves before industries that might take advantage of it. I think they're going to use it. I just think they haven't been able to yet. They haven't been able to catch up with the technology stack, the stuff that's needed here. You got to hire people to understand it. They have to accept it first of all. A lot of them seem to be like completely against it. They don't want to use it at all. I feel like it's a weird sort of battle here. Because on one hand, I recognize it as a tool. It's like an evolution of tools. It's like the next level of a tool thing.
Yes.
It's like making that circle in Photoshop. this is the next evolution of that,
Well, and imagine the first time somebody touched up a photo on Photoshop. It must have felt horrible. It must have felt like, oh my God, exactly. I can't believe I'm adjusting this face. This
and
is
photographers
like
went through a phase.
God.
Photographers
here.
Yeah. Photographers and models were like, these are untouched. I remember there was this whole thing about whether any of it was photoshopped. Just to make a little change, even changing the lighting. Yeah, I mean, we go through these things, but then, it's like...
now you can't even see a photo that isn't photoshopped.
No,
there is no such thing that exists in the world, in the media world.
That's true.
So that's what's going to be then for this, where it's going to be, everything's going to be altered slightly one way or another. And it's going to be, and then people might not have, that's what Justin Bateman is saying, like, control over their image in a total way like they would have been. Like, you don't have a total control as an actor, of course, because there's an editor that edits. And then you have a couple years ago, David Fincher was famously stitching many different scenes together. So you could even like be seeming to be in the same scene, two people. And they're actually, and this was like almost 10 years ago now. So he was doing this. He stitched it so the two takes were happening at the same time. That seemed outrageous. That you could actually be in two separate takes. And it appears to the audience as the same take, and that felt like the actor's out of control, more out of control. And that was 10 years ago. So imagine now what this is leading to now.
Go ahead, Fiddler.
I was going to say, are you really trying to say bring back the Polaroid cameras? I like it. Comes right out just as it's taken.
I know. I mean,
you got it with you. You carry it around.
It's funny. In that the three of us play a poker game, and in the poker game they have these old school Polaroid cameras, but suddenly there's a bug, and now they don't actually make pictures. And it's kind of like you missed the whole. It's still safe to your drive or whatever, but it was cool to like.
That's
hold the Polaroid in
the
your
only
hand.
point of it was to do it right then. Look at it. Pass it around the table. They'll get it fixed. Don't worry, Case.
It's just funny how how it's mirroring the real world, like this, the metaverse, like the alternate reality.
That's a good point.
And that's what I mean is like, and I think like imagine that VR with AI generated content. I mean, you could literally just be looking at anything you want, in a 3D way.
That's like overwhelming. It's like going to try to pick out fucking soup, and there's just too many choices at the grocery store.
Maybe they'd have to give you 5 things to choose from and press a button. Maybe you keep doing that till you get the thing you want. Whatever. More action, less action, more words.
Listen, for what it's worth, we're talking about soup in the grocery store. An option without the onion is fine.
Fiddler hates onions.
Don't put the mushroom in there either.
He hates onions for some reason.
Is this an inside joke? About onions.
He just hates onions.
How am I supposed to follow? I'm not following him.
I know, right? How can you possibly?
Sorry.
Fiddler has an intense hatred. Some might say borders on fear of onions, and that's where his.
There should have been like an AI generated catch-up on this show that I could have read.
That's true.
Some AI tell me what you guys have been talking about.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, that's true. You definitely do not want to listen. That's wasting your life.
I think it'll just sum it up with one word.
First 6 episodes.
Bullshit. Yeah.
Go ahead, Fiddler.
Please do. You're the record keeper. Give us your executive summary of the first 6 episodes. On the fly executive summary.
A lot of building a foundation. There's a lot of that. Scattered in with some games.
That's some fucking corporate shit. That is some corporate shit. I've heard that. That is HR.
And always a twist of adventure. A turn of terror. And always a laugh.
Did you just say a turn of terror?
Turn of terror, yeah.
A lot of it's been created by the AI. A lot of it's been created by AI. We admit it. We admit it.
Yeah. That's all from the perspective of the listener.
Right. Of course.
We don't feel like we're terrorized. Most of it.
So let's get that one a little bit.
That's a half of that. The first 6 episodes.
Which is the exact purpose of an executive summary, as we all know, as we've learned. Don't go too deeply into the details. Don't go into the details.
So Peter, do you actually think that AI is going to really fuck with movies?
Thank you, Mouse.
Well, I think it's going to fuck with the video game movies. The first,
like all the MCU movies, every MCU.
Okay.
MCU,
great.
That's I don't even know why they're using actors right now.
It's 90% CGI anyway.
I agree with that.
If you see them like sitting in their green screen in between takes, like, they don't do any real acting, right? I mean, I don't watch these things. I don't see these things. I write off anyone that acts in them. I have decided never to have anyone that's on the MCU on my show again. Don't hold me to that.
Well, yeah, I don't think that's going to
happen.
I'm pretty sure that's going to happen.
I respect that decision.
Paul Mescal is the latest. He was on the show already.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you who's on this week.
And I always wanted Adam Driver on, but he's going to be in the new Fantastic Four, so he's dead to me.
Oh, I see.
AI. He's the what's his name from the Star Wars.
They don't know Star Wars.
Neither of them know Star Wars. That you people.
Neither of them know Star Wars.
Star Wars? I've never seen Star Wars. Jesus Christ.
He's the guy from Girls.
From Girls, that's what I said, the tall guy. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
The weird guy.
That's what I thought.
Love him.
You should.
I dislike most of it.
You should interview him. That's you
pass him. I see him as that same character from Girls in every single movie he's ever been in, and it just bothers me. It bothers me.
Even as Han Solo's son.
The trouble is he was so good. He was so fucking good as a millennial that I've known a dozen of them in New York City. He was so perfect for that role that I can't see him as anything else. It's like, how did Han Solo have a fucking millennial son? How did this happen? A gothy millennial son.
Something I think you will question every day. I do too, Mark.
Here's the secret about why AI is gonna really quickly take over acting, because what people don't know that are not in the industry is that a lot of people that make movies hate actors.
You think that's true?
Oh, it is definitely true.
I mean, they're saying the same things about artists. They're kind of saying the same thing about artists.
Movies hate actors. Any moment that they can, this is, it's the people who were upfront about this are Trey Parker and Matt Stone, of course.
Oh, what happened?
And they spent a lifetime making a show without actors.
That's true.
So that's going to be what.
Is that South Park?
Yes.
And wow, nice one, Fiddler.
What's going to advance this fast is the idea that I can have this little thing raise an eyebrow exactly how I want it to be raised.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
When I want it to be raised, and I don't have to deal with an actor.
So let me give you a scenario here. Let's say Robert Downey comes out. He says, "Okay, you can put me in all the my hologram or whatever in all the movies, MCU movies you want. Just give me 1/5 of my asking price or whatever. I'll go to town." And so every time they use Robert Downey, they have to pay him. Like, would that be such a terrible thing? Maybe he's in one movie a year, and take it easy.
It won't be a terrible thing for me because I don't watch any of those movies.
There
you go.
What's the breaking point on that? Where do you get to a point where the generational divide of you kind of get past the actors?
That's true. Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. is no longer an importance to
And he's been canceled before, by the way. He spent 3 years in jail or something, right? He's been canceled in the past.
Well, he's just an example. But
I know. I'm just saying that's going to happen, right? These people, they seem to have look at Mel Gibson's still making movies. They seem to have
Now anything can change. Now, do you remember there is a lyric from a Arctic Monkey song in 2006 that I thought was very prophetic And the lyric is, "There's only music so that there's new ringtones."
That's pretty prophetic.
And imagine see how funny that is now? Because the technology changed, but they couldn't see the technology changing.
That's true.
They thought that music was going to only be around for ringtones.
That's insane.
So now we don't know what could change.
Yeah, that's true.
In terms of and make this whole thing silly that we're even worried about this right now.
Yeah, that's true.
The industry could, exist like music changes on a dime again.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And come back. We don't know.
Yeah, that's true. And you don't know if people are like I don't know, it's a good example, but like 3D televisions. We all thought that was
that's true.
thing. Yeah. Never took off.
And you see what just came out today from Apple, which
the VR headset.
So this is the thing that's going to make, if somebody doesn't want to do what you people did and get these headsets, but now because it's Apple and it's
they're going to do it.
Company you
but here's the thing about
don't worry.
By the way, it's so funny because right when you mentioned it was Apple, I went right to the site. Because their products are always good.
This is a way to finally get fit.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The Apple VR, it's not actually a VR headset. It's an AR headset. It's made, it's really cool, but it's made to with full pass-through to see your surroundings.
You could write some mean executive summaries in that thing, Fiddler.
And there's no indication that they might allow third-party apps to be used in there. So you won't be able to get things like Demio and
it's gonna flop.
Poker, which is what we play. Yeah, I think so too. And it's $3,500. I mean that's a ridiculous price.
Really? Yeah. I'll wait for version 3. I heard that one's going to be very good. Strong. Extra strong.
I mean, you don't think it'll be like the App Store, which allows third-party things to come in, but under very strict...
I mean, that's possible, but I doubt that they're going to let poker or I think it's going to be something where, they might have to figure out the licensing or something like that. It's probably going to have to be programming changes. That's the thing that it's like Xbox and PlayStation. That's what it seems like to me. You know what I mean? It's going to be two completely different. Sure, they could in the future they'll be developing games that can be played in either one, but it's going to take a while.
Like when was it? When was an Apple product that came out that wasn't good recently?
There was something. And people were talking about it on the podcast. I forget what it was. That's how bad it was.
Wow. I don't remember.
A couple of the iPhones kind of flopped a little bit. Some of those
that's true.
Extraneous types, but
some kind of accessory, some weird.
Then they have to roll back their headphones.
Usually their stuff's good.
Right.
Yeah,
did they ever come out with any type of Google Vision type thing that didn't do well?
I don't think so. Like the Google Glasses, which I had. Google Glass, I had one of those.
Yeah, I remember kids had those.
I saw a picture of them with them on.
Yeah.
Apple TV, the TV. I think.
That one didn't do well. That was a must-have.
Not the box. I'm talking about the
actual television.
TV. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember they came out a couple years ago. Yeah.
I could see that. I mean, they don't specialize in televisions. I mean, that's tough.
Right.
There's a lot of companies that do that all the time.
Right.
Yeah, they're gonna have to make it super expensive.
Was that the origin of how they became a streaming service? It's from that.
I would
maybe.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. That's true.
Yeah.
That's profit. I'm sure that's profitable.
Which is a good
Bing AI.
Blockbuster wishes they did.
Ted Lasso. Probably got them a lot of money.
Oh, that's on Apple TV.
Sucked.
No, I thought it was a satisfying conclusion. Molecule, we watched it together. I thought it was great.
It was fun. But watching it with him helps because he loves
Did you cry?
I teared up a couple of times. Yes,
wow.
I did.
It's all right.
I did. Yeah.
I don't think I can say the same, but I did enjoy it. He's a softie though.
I mean, listen, I thought some of it was pretty emotional, Wow. Having survived COVID and 6 or 7 other near-death experiences, I've learned to value life. But also I recognize that life is just really long, so it's like, It's a weird duality.
I don't know where that's taking.
It is.
It's both. It can be both. So
really long.
So like Peter, where do you see directors in this hypothetical future? I mean, do we need directors? Can I be my own director and choose from maybe one of 12 different maybe a Quentin Tarantino theme for this movie? The bears teddy bears start attacking people. I don't know, whatever I want.
Look, you have to you have to ask this under the thing of what is going to survive in terms of content, right? If you're talking about these idiotic video game, comic book movies, then no, there will not be. It could be totally generated,
right?
Entirely.
They're really exactly the same. Like the MCU is 4 different movies and endlessly just done over and over again.
And don't you think that the people that sit at the desk in that thing that are just trying to make money, like they already ran through you hear from the directors that pass through that table, right? It's insane who they had go there. Like directors of movies that I love, female directors that are making great movies. They're like, oh, they're females. Let's bring them in, and they sit down there and they don't understand what was good about those people,
right? And
so it's a struggle for them to figure out all those worries can go away.
Yeah.
If it's gonna happen very fast. They're not gonna need anything from that table, decisions at that table, to on the screen.
Yeah.
It's gonna be much, much more streamlined.
That's true.
So why wouldn't they want to have that happen?
Yeah.
Of course they are. Yeah. But that's going to create content. I already can't stand this content. So and you people are contaminated. We can't trust you people. We certainly can't trust anybody else out in the world that is already truly contaminated. They think this new Spider-Man movie is Citizen Kane. And so calling it it just became the #1 movie on Letterboxd of all time. The #1, it just surpassed Come and See, which is
never heard of that one.
Yeah, of course you haven't. It is a legitimately exceptional piece of art. So when I saw that happen,
but here's the thing: I've never heard of it.
So he gets all of his movie recommendations from you. So
yeah, I get a lot of them. That's true. I get a lot of them. Yes, from Peter.
So this is all going to happen very fast. But again, it's all for content for a certain group of people.
Right. Or maybe not getting
maybe I'm not a good person to ask. Maybe people I just talked to a guy who's kind of a friend of mine who doesn't even consider the movies that I like to even be movies.
Yeah. So
do you even consider him to be a friend?
Yeah, maybe you should think about your
Yeah.
Yeah, one actor.
Are you saying that he's even more discerning about movies than you?
He what?
He's even more discerning about movies than you are?
No, what I'm saying is
only Citizen Kane and The Godfather, nothing else are movies?
A movie is a movie if it's entertaining.
Right.
And it's fast paced and it's fun.
Oh, I got you.
So the things I like are not even it's art. It's like museum stuff.
We call that a standy still.
There you go.
Movie.
Yes. There you go. Great one. Standing picture.
We should get Shane in here while Peter's here. They can go to head, because I think Shane's one that likes all of.
Oh, he loves all the. Shane was our guest host for an episode.
If Shane likes a movie, I know I automatically won't like it.
I'm sure he loves Spider-Man. I'm sure he does.
Yeah, exactly.
But what you're gonna see then once this happens is people flocking to these truly handmade films, and maybe there'll be a slight resurgence of the independent film scene.
Right
there.
Maybe there won't be so many takes that they take with all the actors and actresses today. I imagine 80 takes to do a scene.
Right.
3 take max.
There you go.
We want to see actors.
You can't get it in 3 takes. It's AI. We use AI. You can't get it in 3 takes. We use AI.
Yeah.
He'd be a great director. He would. I'd be with some weird shit you're watching, but he'd be a pretty great director.
But all of this is only happening because of the dumbing down of not the MCU stuff.
Right.
That can't be blamed. We can't blame that.
That's a
result.
Yeah, exactly. Although if nobody wanted that shit, then the movies wouldn't have been made. They want to make 30 of them.
The bad thing happened in regular movies. They started to suck, and then people just went to these other movies.
Or people are just getting dumber, and that's why we need the internet. That's why we need AI. That's why we need movies that dumb people aren't making. People are just getting dumber and dumber. We're getting dumber. I'm not even saying it's a generational thing. We're just all getting dumber. We're getting dumber.
So you're saying AI might actually do better movies than the people are doing?
Yes, that's what I believe eventually.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Do you think that there's any possibility of this whole writer's strike giving a boost to AI?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
There's a theory out there that this is the worst time for them to strike.
Yeah.
That the executives are sitting back laughing.
Yeah, it just seems real stupid.
They needed this break. They needed this break.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's going to just help them. They were just like sitting at the watch to like let it happen.
Right.
But at the same time, part of me thinks
I'm worried about that.
Part of me thinks like, this might be the last chance. If they don't do something now, maybe that's it. Maybe they sense that. Maybe it's a good idea. I don't know.
Right.
This is the last year. If they just let this happen, then that might be.
But maybe last year, like last year or a couple months ago even would have been better because there's been so many advances in just the last couple months with AI.
That's true.
And they're thinking.
And we're just getting warmed up. We're just getting warmed up with this stuff.
Yeah.
It's just
and if they start getting desperate, they might start taking more risks and chances and using AI to.
Yeah. Listen, I watch some AI stuff from time to time. I know the noise molecule, but I'll have on this show where it's like you start off as like a Seinfeld parody, but then
it's the fucking microwave.
And they keep going in once in a while randomly. They'll just hit the microwave on, and beep, and she thinks it's the real microwave.
We're in the other room, and he didn't. Go ahead.
But I watch this shit. I enjoy it. There's a part of me that I'm sitting there thinking, my God, nobody's seen this before. It's being generated on the fly. This is amazing. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it's horrible. But 5% of the time, it lines up randomly.
This charms you.
It does.
Yeah, like a lot of movies charm me and TV shows. Yes.
He's I don't know. I can watch it for about 1.5 minutes. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. They're like, maybe one day they'll get there, but like this isn't it. And he just keeps it on. So
that AI Jesus, that's amazing. AI Jesus is amazing.
Okay.
Wow.
Sure.
He answers questions in the chat. It's a Jesus that answers questions in the chat. Better than that new Jesus who showed the gay pride flag.
Wait, what's happening?
Yeah, I
what's
no
the
idea.
chat?
Wow.
Who's in the chat?
Somebody's in the chat?
Wait, there's what?
No,
chat?
there's nobody in the chat. Nobody's
What'd
listening.
you say about chat, Case?
I'm trying to figure out what you said, Case.
Case.
Still don't know.
I got distracted, Case.
You're like another planet. I don't blame you.
I was on that looking at the Apple Vision Pro. 4 pixels instead of 4K TV.
He's already bought 2 of them. He's already bought 2 of them. They're already on their way to his house.
Can you watch movies like you guys watch movies?
You can, you can. That's the one great thing about it. Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah. Big screen.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the big screen, Peter?
No.
Oh.
I may have to
there.
get this thing.
It's amazing. It is amazing. That for that alone, it's amazing. But you can also there's a few games that I used to be a big gamer, so like these games don't hold a lot of interest to me because I feel like they need to make that next leap in gaming and they haven't done it yet. Kind of bored with the games, but like there's fun like little some people like the golf. It's like it's not these giant role playing game things. You can just play around for an hour or whatever and then stop. Which I like.
The golf's pretty cool. It's frustrating.
And you're just out there on the golf course.
It's
Yeah,
like
it's putt-putt.
it's mini golf
can
and there's also
fly.
like golfing. Yeah, you can fly
There's golf
around.
too, but the mini golf
Yeah.
game is
Yeah.
like just a bajillion different courses that are all like one of them's like underwater, one's like upside down, and like on cliffs.
And eventually that's going to be AI generated too.
It's pretty cool.
That's going to be
What's the
AI
name of it?
generated. Walkabout golf.
Walkabout mini
Oh,
golf.
I have that too.
Yeah,
We could all play
Let's
golf.
play
we could.
Not tonight. Another night.
Yeah, not tonight.
another night when you get your Apple
Yeah.
headset.
I gotta get that. I gotta update that Oculus. You know the thing.
God.
It requires you to turn it on once every.
Yeah, 6 months? Is that in 3 months? 4 months?
We
Only
get
goes
it,
in
Fiddler. You
Apple.
don't want to play with us.
All right,
No,
so
it's
so
not
what
a product.
what about all the other people? What about cinematography? What about like just like music people? Like how many jobs?
here's-
What percentage of jobs can be replaced by this thing ultimately?
Well, let
You know,
me tell you something that I'm actually want to use AI for in my filmmaking. How about that?
Yeah,
I'll tell you
sounds
that.
great. Yeah, I want to hear it.
I think that a great use of this would be to generate backgrounds so that you can actually place real actors in so you don't have to get locations.
Right. I mean, that's basically what they do now with green screen, right?
Yeah, but there has to be an advancement now,
Right. Yeah,
with
that's
that
right.
through AI.
Yeah, definitely.
And
That's
actually have extras that are AI and artificially made
Right.
extras, just like
the faraway shots, stuff like that.
even close-up shots. Like that's a good thing. That's
True.
a good use of AI.
But then you're
for
saying
the
like
independent filmmaker.
so then it becomes
Right.
like just the emotional dinner scene. That's the only thing they use real actors like
Yeah, because
you can let them
extras are basically robots anyway,
That's true.
right? You have to be robotic. I was just on. If you want to go and look for me in the episode 6 of Gossip Girl,
Definitely, 100 years, of
you
course.
can see
Oh, that's
me
cool.
in 3 different shots, and
Definitely.
you can see me
Definitely.
being robotic. And
All
one
right.
shot I played over and over again. I was like, I thought this was supposed to be me, but it's some old guy. And I played it, and it was only the 3rd time that I recognized it actually is me.
Oh wow, damn.
That's how old I look in this shot next to
Peter,
the Gossip Girl people.
Have you ever seen the movie Catfight?
All right. Anyway,
Yeah.
moving on.
There you go.
So
That
how
is a
many?
robotic
So what are you gonna do? What did you
extra
say you're gonna do with it?
Owner, 2 cows.
What are you doing with it then? What were you
I
saying?
know
you were
he's
doing
trying
with
to
it?
move on.
Oh,
What was your,
Wait,
a lot of
move
people
on.
in that.
Listen.
What was your
I-
final thing? What were you using it for? You never finished. What were you gonna use it for?
me?
Yeah, you said one way you're gonna use AI.
I'm saying
As extras in independent
I see.
films.
and locate like the combination of a background that's basically like a green screen,
Right,
that we place in a green screen,
right.
but to have and to manipulate in any way you want extras that
Right.
are fake
Okay, got ya. You can have them go
and that seem real.
set silverware or whatever. You can have them doing that. Whatever.
Whatever.
In the background.
Like just imagine like a restaurant scene.
Yeah.
You don't have to be in the restaurant. You can have all the extras be,
And it's unique.
even
It's
like a
gonna be-
street
it's gonna be
scene.
unique. It's
You
gonna
could
be
be
unique to your
green
movie.
screen and then have all those people
Yeah.
be fake. That is going to be an advancement of then the true dream of a very, very little amount of money, because that's where most of the money goes, right? For an
Yeah.
independent film, in locations and having all these people
That's true.
creating a
Locations.
thing that seems real. If we could do that in a fake way that
Right.
seems real,
Yeah.
in that way, that is a good use of it.
But aren't those also people? Aren't they also union? And aren't they also like
No, I mean
you're cutting a lot of people out of work?
Are we
to
gonna
do that,
are we
right?
gonna sit down and cry about?
Well, that's what I'm asking you.
extras
I'm
work?
asking you. I don't know. I'm asking you. Well, not necessarily. Actually, what are the people who
They're
build the
very,
sets?
very,
People who
Listen,
build the sets are not
They're
extras.
very strange people. They are very strange.
Did you, Case? Did you get kicked out of your union?
Yeah, I would be happy to be part of you, and I am not.
I
What
love
about
extras.
me?
I love extras. I love all extras.
Yeah, you better say that. Did not replace with AI just yet, Peter. But I mean, like, but those
It's one thing
people
we
build
could
the
afford.
sets. People build the sets, right? They're working too, not just extras.
Well, as somebody smarter than me once said, AI is not going to take your job. Somebody who understands AI
That's
is going to
true.
take your job.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah.
So somebody has to design those artificial sets for me.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I can't do that, and that's a new job.
Yeah, that's true.
Caveat: unless you work in HR, then you're okay.
Oh yeah, that's the first.
Then you're fine.
You would be so happy if AI took your job. You'd be happy as shit. I know you.
Only humans can resource humans. That's it.
Only humans supposed to resource humans.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's gonna be the most ironic twist.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just like, you manage this shit, and then there's gonna be a whole new race of fucking managers that come around and fucking manage this shit out of
HR is gonna be the first to go, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Do not listen. Molecule. You're a lot.
AI, if you're listening, take HR soon.
Yeah.
All right, so I mean, all right. Well, so you see it as what, a period of, I guess this is my view of it. I see it as a period of unrest in the film industry on almost all levels of the film industry. Maybe a decade of unrest, and just continuing on with the projects they're making, but like as the world unravels around them and in it, opens up a hole for indie filmmakers to come in with these new tools and just mop up the floor with the old school fucking, I mean, no, they're not above murdering people. So, you got me there. Like, they're not above murdering people for money. So, we've seen that in fucking Hollywood. So, yeah, maybe if you get a little too good.
I disagree on that time frame. That's insane. It's going to be unrest for 2 years.
Okay.
And then there will be a wasteland after that. It's going to be over.
And then what? You never come out of that. We never come out of it.
That we're going to have an industry that is artificial, that people enjoy.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be a bunch of people still trying to make these real life things. Nobody's watching them.
Yeah.
Do they look real?
That's 2 years, 3 years. That's how fast this is going to be.
Do the movies look real?
Yeah, they're gonna have to.
They're going to look really real.
Yeah, dude, they already look so much better than they did 6 months ago.
Really, when you go see these idiotic movies, you sit down and you think like...
We don't watch the idiotic movies here. I'm not sure
Come
who
on,
you're talking to.
You're going
Maybe
out there.
I watch some.
I really don't think it's me.
It's not good. It's not Molecule.
The Spider-Mans and your...
No,
she won't go see that.
never.
She won't go see
Oh,
that.
jeez. All right.
I will watch it. I will give it 5 minutes of my time. I'll give it a few minutes. I'll know whether I want to watch it or not. 5 minutes. That's all I need.
I know about you, Molecule. You love Spider-Man.
I mean, I think out of all of those shitty fucking movies, Spider-Man's not the worst, I guess. I've seen like one of them, I think.
The gay one.
But I'm not
the gay one. The gay Spider-Man. She watched the gay Spider-Man.
What's the gay Spider-Man?
The gay Spider-Man is when they're all three of the Spider-Men get together, and
one of the
it's just
newer
really
ones.
homoerotic. Two of them are like.
I wouldn't have watched it on my own. That was all.
Thank you for pointing that out. Thank you.
I did enjoy that part because there was a little bit of like, a little bit of play, a little bit of innuendo going on. That was good.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not into those movies. But a lot of people are.
It was funny at least. They didn't take itself too seriously. Yeah, I mean, millions of people, and that just seems to be growing, right?
What about the Batmans?
I thought the last one
Batman
was
I like is the, what was it, like 1989 or whatever that was.
Right.
With Michael Keaton.
It's the last one I've ever seen.
Yes.
I think we tried watching the new Batman, but we turned it off.
For our audience of 4, he's clapping.
Terrible.
Better be careful.
All right, so that's
I
it.
hope I'm wrong about this. I hope I'm wrong.
You think desolation, and then we just don't crawl out of this hole. We dig a hole for ourselves, and we get in there, and we never get out. That's what you're saying. Maybe there's people that are going to be trying. Maybe there'll be a resurgence in 50 years or something.
I just think that it's already almost, the industry's almost over for regular movies anyway. The only thing that's keeping it alive really is this idea of award season, and the ratings keep going down for that. So that's gonna keep changing, and it's gonna that's too. So This is all happening in 2 years. You know, the writer's strike, like everything's leading, and AI, and all this is a perfect storm of pessimism.
Yeah.
You know what we could all be. You know what we could all be doing in 4 years. Working in HR, all 4 of us. It's possible.
That's how AI eliminates all jobs. Everyone is now in HR. It's a job literally made to keep us busy. That's where it was born. It was probably created by AI, and some Citigroup probably had an AI 10 years ago. All the big banks, also Chase.
HR, then there's HR for HR. It's just HR for HR for HR. Come on.
It's just a reverse pyramid of
Push
HR.
HR, I don't know.
I'm HR level 7. I'm about to be level 6 soon.
We're past our 45-minute mark. Do you want to house the game for next week?
Yeah, we'll host the game for another time. This was a conversation with Peter Rinaldi, host of the podcast.
There will always be theater. There will always.
Yeah, exactly. There will always be movies. There'll be niche movies about weirdos. Like, what's his name? Putting it, like, filming in a warehouse with lines on the ground, right? That's what it's going to be like. Why bother with sets?
Dogville, 20th anniversary re-release.
We got to go watch Gossip Girl episode.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
I was in the one of the first crane shots. I'm in the car.
Nice. I can't wait.
I'm in the
Don't spoil
passenger seat.
Yeah. Don't spoil
for me there
for the fans.
And a big giant scene with lots of people, and
can't wait. We'll spot
the director came over and put his head in the car and said, "Hi, what's your name?" And I said, "Peter." And he said, "Can you just turn that way?" Because apparently my face was in the shot.
Nice.
That's how much you don't need it to be a human.
Yeah,
you needed a form there.
Yeah, right.
And I was too human-like.
That's true.
He wanted me to face the other way, so I would be more of a silhouette.
That's true. Yeah, you had too much prominent features.
That's how much you don't need people.
Now, in the crowd scene, will we be able to spot you in the crowd scene? We'd be wearing one of those hats, like Where's Waldo? One of those red and white hats.
It's only a 30-minute commitment, right?
Yeah, right. That's true. Exactly.
Oh, wait, before we go, oh my God, I forgot. Like, I love your podcast, Back to One, but I realized you were a celebrity when I found out you were in my favorite show, Cash Cab.
Oh, yes, you watched that episode. You're in Cash Cab.
That was your favorite show?
I watched it a lot, right around the time that you were in it.
Which I forgot she may have watched it.
I can't believe how bad we did.
I
knew we did bad.
Really
you had the right answer. You had the right answer.
Your friend or coworker or whatever didn't, and you said it, and I'm really sorry for you. That would hurt. So I could never watch it again.
Yeah.
I've never really recovered from that.
I didn't even know you were in the Cash Cab.
Sorry, Fiddler.
Yeah.
And I was such a big trivia fan at the time.
Do you know how many episodes of that fucking show I had to sit through?
You got a free Cash Cab.
That's it.
Right?
That's it.
Yeah.
You got like $75.
They didn't even bring us back to where they picked us up.
Oh, I thought they actually took you. I thought they took you to where they were going, where you were going. They didn't.
They didn't even take us where we were going.
They made it seem like.
Weren't you like 5 blocks away?
Pulled over and made us get out.
Oh, wow.
And then they went on with it. Like, you didn't even forget a consolation prize.
Wow.
They didn't even drive us back to the place they picked us up.
You know, they don't really show the after on those shows.
They really should.
But you're still my hero for being on that show.
Yes, that's one.
I haven't seen them, but you might be. Maybe there's worse people than you. That done worse things than you on that show. That must be, right?
I watched a lot of it. People did a lot worse than you.
Yeah,
I watched a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Like one question, like 3 questions are done.
I'm sorry to bring it up, but I thought it was amazing. You didn't. And
I didn't realize you were on the Cash Cab. I'm glad you brought it up.
Well, now you're gonna have to go look it up.
I know. I didn't mean to bring up a sore subject, but I just really thought it. So.
What should I look up? Molly?
I'll send you the info. I'll send you the info.
Case watched a whole bunch of them to pinpoint.
I had to fast forward to like 40 of them to get to the right one. It's so ridiculous.
It was like 2006.
And then the first couple of them, I'm like, wait, is that him? Maybe he looked like that back then. I was like, he's more flamboyant than I thought.
What
but
I
maybe
love about that is that's proof that I had a black friend.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so you don't have it anymore.
White people need to have this.
Notice how I said friend, coworker. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he was wearing a suit. Was he probation officer?
He was.
What was
I
it?
don't think you were, or his suit.
Yeah.
I think that was a little dose of early AI.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's a great point. It's amazing what they'll fucking make fake videos about these days. Jesus, I can't like anything.
All right, I think that's a good place to
Yeah,
5
good
minutes
call.
off.
All right, thanks for listening. Back to one. Yeah, when does it come out?
It's every Tuesday.
Tuesday.
We got an episode coming out tomorrow with Matthew Marr. He was in the movie Air. He was
Right,
in
we're gonna
the
watch
movie Our Flag is Death Means Death. Is that
Oh
what
no, it's a TV show. That's a TV show.
Our
not a
TV show,
movie,
Our
yeah.
Flag Means Death.
That's the same guys who did the Drag the Vampire show. That's Tiki Wakiki.
And
whatever it is.
I surprised him because he came to an audition in 1995 that I was filming, and I remembered him in that audition. And he also I'm from near Scranton, Pennsylvania, and he was in a play in Scranton, Pennsylvania in 1996 that I saw.
He survived it, unlike
and he survived and made a career
unlike
out of a play in Scranton.
What was his name? The playwright that died in Scranton. What was his name? Unlike him.
Jason Miller.
Yeah, Jason Miller.
No, come on now. That's a whole other episode. Let's have me back on, talk about
Yes.
Let's transform this Twitch audience into
maybe it's like a mystery. Comes a mystery podcast.
There you go. That's what we need right now.
Yeah, sure.
True crime.
All right. AI, true crime. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Good potting with you folks. Bye.